Alright, welcome back folks to Game 2 of Dragon League from Ascension eSports. Today it's going to be Team QB versus Ice Cold Juice. Team QB loading up on the right side and Ice Cold Juice loading up on the left side. First game did go over to Team QB and I'm joined here with Kindwolf. Kindwolf, how you doing?
Doing great. Game one was pretty exciting. We got a lot of action, a little bit of heartbreak at the same time, but we'll see how this plays out this time. I think, if I'm not wrong, give me 1 second. Did
I'll let you finish your thought.
I'm trying to fix,
Okay,
because
well
I
then.
want our stream to look pretty, and unfortunately, I can't do it right apparently.
Well, that's the case then. I'll continue talking on that. Out of the blue side, which also happens to be Ice Cold Juice, we're seeing the Swain and the Corky band out. Two picks that did seem to provide some trouble to Ice Cold Juice last game, as Team QB kind of just brute forced their way into the victory using the Nautilus also seeing as a third band. They used the Death Charge and the Dredge line. Swain also was just kind of a force to be reckoned with in the top lane, and then Corki also did a lot of damage in team fights. Meanwhile, for Team QB, we're seeing the Jin band out. It's a target ban towards Taunty. Also the Talon ban. Call Me Carrot Please has been playing a lot of Talon and solo queue, and also the Melzhar, which is pretty impressive. I don't think, at least in my personal opinion, I don't think he's really worth banning anymore. However, Team QB thinks otherwise, as they do appear that it is going to be a priority ban. First pick though, we are seeing Vive picked for Ice Cold Juice, as it was shown to be a very powerful pick last game, as Uzi Rex did a lot on the map with it.
Yeah, I really think that Ice Cold Juice chose better to in terms of their jungle choice. Jax is kind of a tough jungler to play, especially in this meta where, if you remember about a couple patches ago last season, Jax was quite a decent jungler, but it looks like Uzi Rex is going to go on to Hecarim, another excellent choice for junglers in this new meta. And looks like Water Polo will be picking Shen.
Yeah, I actually did hope to see the Karma there. Dr. Flu has shown in the past that he's good on Karma. He has a very good win rate in solo queue. Karma synergizes very well with the Hecarim. You know, he can speed him up, which Hecarim likes being fast. And it also gives Hecarim attack damage with the passive, where it converts, I believe it's 25% of your bonus movement speed into attack damage. Possibly they'll pick it up later in the draft, as they still got 3 more picks to go. However, for Ice Cold Juice, we're seeing the Orianna and Poppy Hubbard. Poppy strong at the Shen, can block out the taunt, also has a bunch of CC to get rid of the Stand United. CC does lock up the Shen, however we're possibly seeing now the Rumble pick. Rumble actually being locked in. Assume it will be a Rumble top lane. I can't imagine where else it would go. As well as the Orianna being picked up for Call Me Carrots Please as well. I'm a little bit worried in terms of what this top lane matchup will end up looking like. The Rumble into Shen is not a fun matchup for Shen whatsoever. It was like the Swain last game. Rumble does not need to deal damage with auto attack, so Shen being able to negate auto attack damage doesn't help him whatsoever. But we are actually seeing the Jace and the Karma picked up. We said earlier we wanted to see Karma, and now we get to see it.
Yeah, Karma is probably my favorite non-tank champion. Well, I guess now you can build her kind of tanky in support, but in terms of potential, great great choice for support. She's essentially like she was described as a force multiplier. The shield, the speed ups, and the damage, AoE damage is pretty useful in terms of support. She's kind of an all-rounder. A little bit more poke heavy with her Q, but overall she does provide a lot of utility to a team.
Ooh, we're seeing the Thresh picked out from Asperluna. Had a little bit of connection issues last game, but maybe you got those figured out. I'm looking to see some Mad Life hooks come out of that support.
Yeah.
Flashy plays are always fun to see, and we're streaming this, so it's even better. You get an audience to watch you. Uh, really excited actually to see that. And Misfortune is a strong laner, so pair the two together, might see a little bit of action in this bot lane. And now we see the Ashe picked up last for Ocean's Andrew on Team QB.
So looking at the matchups, you have Rumble versus Shen. Like you said, that's gonna go in Rumble's favor. Shen not being able to block out the Flame Spitter. In terms of jungle, I feel like that's pretty even. A lot of damage and not so much CC on Uzi Rex with Hecarim. A little bit less CC, but still quite a force to be reckoned with overall. So I think that's pretty even. How about that mid lane matchup? Jace mid. If I'm not wrong, that was the matchup in. It wasn't against Orianna, but I believe it was Jace versus Corki in LCS just earlier today. What do you think about that?
So my thoughts on Jace is if you can play him well, he's absolutely terrifying to play against. He's a absolutely dominant lane bully and can just completely take over games. You know, you can put him in the side lane, you can get him to split push, and almost nobody can deal with him. Whereas you have the Orianna, who is always been known to be a safe and reliable mid laner. So I think if TSM Sherlock can show that he's comfortable on that Jace and he can really be a lane bully, the mid lane can spin out of control. I'm looking here, and TSM Sherlock has shown in his past match history that he has played Jace. He understands the champion. He does quite well on him. Has a very good win rate, 64%. So I actually am confident that TSM Sherlock can output a lot of damage and can be kind of dominant in this lane. So it'll be interesting to see if he can transform that and get a lead from it. He doesn't necessarily have to kill the Orianna, but he can start to get, a CS lead. He can build up pressure on that tower, and then he can just kind of roam around and just take these objectives super, super quickly. And both of them have good wave clear, so it won't be like last game where we see, one tower kind of just getting shoved into the other.
Yeah, and looking at bot lane, it's going to be Toddy and Esper Luna with Misfortune and Thresh going against Ocean's Andrew and Dr. Flu on the Ashe Karma lane. I feel like that has to go in the advantage of Toddy. Like I said earlier, Ashe doesn't really shine in this meta as much as the lethality focused champions. I feel like Misfortune is a better pick in this meta than Ashe. What do you think?
I think Ashe is still a fairly reliable AD carry. She does have good wave clear. She has really good engage. They're both really reliable. Misfortune, at least with this last patch, does see, more play with the buffs to lethality. I think overall on the bottom lane, I want to put my kind of like vote on which lane's going to do better. I'm going to have to say it's actually going to be Team QB, solely on the fact that if Esper Luna on that Thresh doesn't hit a lot of hooks or doesn't get good flays, the team Ice Cold Juice doesn't really have a whole lot of pressure. The Ashe and the Karma are going to be really aggressive, or they should be aggressive at least, with the volley and also the Qs from Karma. So they should be pushing in that wave, and unless Esper Luna is kind of getting hooks, making sure that they respect him, I think that Team QB is kind of going to get an advantage there. However, though, we did say that Misfortune with these lethality changes is extremely strong, extremely heavy on damage. So if they do get a lead, Misfortune can just snowball it really hard as the Ashe kind of gets in trouble if it does get caught by a Thresh hook or Thresh flay into Misfortune bullet time. So I think it's really going to be more so dependent on the supports in this game. If Karma ends up being really, really pokey, kind of just make sure that Misfortune and Thresh are kind of just always low, it's going to be hard for Misfortune to get damage. But if Esper Luna on this Thresh does decide to show up and hit a lot of hooks, I think that Misfortune can get really strong. He can be really dominant in that lane.
So, last game, Ice Cold Juice was having quite a bit of trouble getting things to go their way. What do you think that they'll have to do this game to turn it around and hopefully get the tie and get a point?
Well, to start off, they did do one thing that I kind of critiqued them on, is that they got the wave clear situation fixed. They got good wave clear in the top. Rumble has a really good wave clear. They got good wave clear with the Orianna. The MF has fairly good wave clear. But I think they just got to be a lot more proactive. You know, their Jax, Zach, just kind of spent too much time waiting for stuff to happen and didn't really make the plays themselves. Where on Vi, you know, it's a lot easier. Also with the Rumble, you can use the Equalizer. There's a lot more plays that can be made off of Ice Cold Juice. Now, looking at Team QB, I think they do just got to keep doing what they're doing, just make plays. I do want to talk about, though, this build that we're seeing out of 97 Water Polo. Seeing 3 Rejuvenation Beads, 1 Health Potion against a Rumble.
That's quite an interesting choice.
I can honestly say I've never seen it. If you've seen it, feel free to step in, because I guess the idea, or I'm gonna take a guess. I'm gonna say the idea that he's going for is that, you know, Rumble's obviously gonna be a huge lane bull. He's gonna be poking him down, and he wants to regen that health faster. But I don't know if I agree with it. You know, I think possibly going like a health or possibly going like a Ruby Crystal or some kind of health first that builds into the Spirit Visage would be better.
Right, yeah, I was actually going to say that. I feel like, especially against Rumble, you would actually rather choose Health Crystal and brush that Spirit Visage instead. Instead, going with the triple bead of regen beads. I'm not so sure about that one, but we'll see if that works out for Water Polo. Meanwhile, pretty standard start for jungle paths, both sides starting on bot side. Meanwhile, though, Zac is going to try and invade and steal red, it looks like, on the minimap. Let's follow him and find out.
Yeah, a little bit slow of a play to take Romp right after blue buff, especially in team play. You know, the coaches are most likely watching the stream, so they see what the enemy junglers are doing. And so I'm gonna have to take a guess here and see that Ice Cold Juice's coach saw that, you know, maybe OZ Rex doesn't always go to his opposite buff immediately, and told Zac to go, hey, try to steal a buff. He most likely won't be there in time, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Nice hook actually in the bottom lane from Esper Luna, so that is nice to see. But good invade though from Zac. Took the red. Now he's gonna, OZ Rex is gonna go with that red buff and be like, yo, where's it at?
Yep. And I'm surprised. Nope. No retaliation in terms of Uzi Rex trying to catch him at his blue buff. I'm surprised he's not trying to ward it and possibly make a steal, but looks like he just plays safe and goes to farming his chicken camp.
This is good to see, especially after what happened last game. You know, Zac was not really doing a whole lot last game, and already he's starting to make differences. He's playing really effectively. He stole the enemy red buff. He took both of his 2 buffs. He's got a nice ward in their topside jungle. He's being a lot more efficient than last game, and that's really good to see, because he basically, you know, he didn't have a great game last game, but he's not letting that affect him. He's saying, you know what, I'm ready to move on to a new game, and that's exactly what he's doing. So I gotta give props to him. He is turning the game around, and that's good to see.
Yeah, it looks like in terms of farm, surprisingly enough, Water Polo is pretty even in terms of creep score. 19 to 20 this time, 21 in favor of Harkin. But you would think that Harkin would be farming a lot better.
Yeah, and speaking of CS, we did talk about how Zac, CBW 360 had gone behind in farm, and while it does look like he's getting behind in farm again, it is misleading, because all the camps that he's taken, he took Gromp, he took Wolves, he took red, blue, and red buff. That's 7 right there, and then he took Scuttle Crab for 8. So he hasn't taken the same amount of monsters, but the monsters that he's taking are worth a lot more gold. So again, you know, we were saying how he wasn't very efficient in his pathing last time, but this time around he's doing much better, and now he's off to, I would say, about equal gold. He is actually equal, but he did steal the buff from OZ Rex, so he did actually deny gold, so that's good.
Yeah, actually we saw earlier a little fight breaking out between Copenhagen and TSM Sherlock. Sherlock actually doing quite well on that Jace there. Actually managed to force Carrot to back there. He unfortunately missed the shock blast, and I feel like that would have potentially caught him a kill if he had landed it. He missed it, and opportunity lost for Sherlock.
Yeah, and now I'm wondering to see what 97 Water Polo will build against this Rumble. Obviously, he's probably gonna build some kind of MR. Oh, actually,
Looks like Uzi Rex coming in trying to gank on Toddy and Esperluna, but nothing happened.
Yeah, awkward flash. Esperluna had thrown the lantern down, and Tonti decided to flash away from it.
So successful gank, right? I guess that's considered successful. Summoner burn.
Unfortunately, though, we're not seeing Ozyrex come back bottom side. Too many times we'll see junglers like blow a summoner spell and then just never come back. I'm hoping that Ozyrex does decide to come back, knowing that Tonti doesn't have flash. Obviously, does need to be a little careful though because of the lantern. Kind of just negate the gank, but still go for it at least.
Yeah, and looks like in terms of how the game's going, it feels pretty even. Unfortunately, Toddy miscommunication with Esperluna on the escape from Uzi Rex's gank, but overall, I feel like Ice Cold Juice is doing quite a bit better. Yeah, not letting it get out of control quite as quickly as it happens.
Yeah, I gotta give props to 97 Water Polo. He's doing a really good job farming. The fact that he's pretty much even against the Rumble as Shen is impressive. Power playing Shen, I'd probably be down like 20 CS because I hate playing against Rumble. But you know.
Yeah, new challenger meta, 3 health bead start.
Yeah, it's sort of like the singed triple Dark Seal build. You just build all rejuve beads. A little bit of tussle.
It looks like Uzi Rex got caught by Esperluna's hook, but Dr. Flu there to kind of help Uzi Rex out. But Zac is getting that Scuttle Crab bot, so they will lose some slight vision there over Dragon. But all goes back to the game. Sherlock trying to steal that Scuttle, I think, with that shock blast, but nothing happens there.
So we're seeing one of the beats being built into a crystalline bracer, which does give health regen and health. The only item I can think of that builds into that, I believe it used to build into Banshee's Veil, but now I think they changed it. I believe the only thing it builds into now is Warmogs. Don't think Warmogs would be the good go-to item.
Yeah, I don't think that if he's going for the Warmog, I disagree very strongly. It does not work out very well for him. Warmogs, if you want to get it, I would have to say it would probably be like a 4th item, maybe.
And even that, it has to be, Warmogs is a good item in like ARAM or places where you need a lot of health, and it's also really good in ARAM because you get the health regen. But the thing is with Summoner's Rift, you can recall, get health, and then you're good to go. The only time I feel like Warmogs is ever super good, and I've seen it like on Reddit and stuff where they say Warmogs is the 3rd best magic resist item, is in terms of like most champions that use ability power usually do it in burst damage. Rumble, Brand, Swain, those are like a couple of exceptions, but other than that, most are burst mages, so you need health usually to get or to withstand that, and that's usually the only time you get Warmogs is if you're going like a triple AP comp. But rarely see those these days. And even against the team of Ice Cold Juice, they don't have a huge amount of burst, so I can't agree if he does build the Warmogs, but then again though, might just be bamboozling us, it all might just be for the laning phase.
And looks like Uzi Rex is going to be building Cinderhawk rather than the Warrior enchantment on his jungle item. Not so
I haven't seen that, where you build Cinderhulk and then you build Triforce immediately after. Because usually Triforce is the only damage item you do get in a Hacker mod. I mean, you can't get the Warriors, But what I've seen is you build Cinderhulk because you get the percent health passive on Cinderhulk. So you build that for the passive, you get Triforce for the damage, and then you build all tank. That way you can dive the backline.
Esther Luna gets the hook, but Uzi Rex is there to try and dissuade this fight from happening. Zach CW with the assault and battery on Ocean Andrew. Dr. Flu trying to snare, but manages to land it, and I think it might be. Oh, Zach flashes out, tries to escape, parking side, teleports in, and lays down the equalizer there. Ocean Andrew using his ult to. I'm not sure whether he should have used it. I feel like he could have saved that, but it's burned. That's all there is to it, and I think they might be making a dragon play right here. Ocean Dragon is up, and it would be pretty good for them.
I'm really hoping that Team QB realizes that they are going for dragon. If you send all 5 members bottom lane, you don't get a kill. Either get a kill, that's obviously the easiest answer, or go for a tower or go for dragon. And if none of those are there, you probably shouldn't be going bottom lane. So props to High School Juice for realizing that there is an objective to take. Obviously they couldn't take the tower there because Team QB was there, so they decided to take the next best thing. So I do pick up an Ocean Drake. The next dragon that will be spawning is going to be a Mountain Drake, so that will be nice to pick up. But this does leave Team QB in a good spot though, as they have the TP advantage because they use the Stand United. So maybe we'll see a play coming out of there, maybe not, but we'll find out.
Meanwhile, Zach is going to be clearing that top side jungle. Just hit level 7 on the chicken bot side, but overall, I feel like so much better. So much better.
Yeah, I agree completely. And actually, we're seeing a gold lead for Zach this time on the jungler. He's technically down 13 CS, but again, what we were talking about with efficiency, he's going for the bigger jungle creeps, so he gets more gold from them, and in the end, he does end up getting a gold advantage. However,
great
fight break out.
Shock out of blast. Shock blast, sorry, out of Sherlock, and does get the kill onto Call Me Carrot. First blood going to Sherlock, and that'll be pretty good for Team Q. They haven't had things go exactly their way in terms of compared to last game, but with that first blood, I feel like that kind of pushes that, tips the balances back in their favor. Meanwhile, Uzi Rex thinking about it, decides not to. And they push the wave up. Ocean Andrew and Dr. T pushing the wave into tower. Sherlock and Uzi Rex are coming down. Shock Blast hits Esperluna.
They don't know that Vi's coming down. Possibly they're gonna regret going here, but looks like they will back off. Might actually be going for that tower.
Yeah, and Call Me Carrot actually is right behind Zach.
And Stand United are up for 97 water polo. Might see a play down there as we see Uzi Rex start to head back towards bottom. Don't think we'll see much happening though.
Yeah, they'll just clear the wave. Oh my goodness. What a shock blast. Actually a really good. Ooh, wow. Great shock blast out of Sherlock to get the kill. And Audience gets caught. Excellent ult out of Ocean's Andrew. And they do get first power kill out of that. So things not exactly working out for High School Juice now. They've lost their lead slightly. And the gold does favor High School Juice with that first tower blood.
Just saw a flash out of 97 water polo. I'm not sure what that was for. He did flash though, so can't get it back for another like 5 minutes. Interesting though, to say the least. Maybe he thought Equalizer was going to come out from Harken's Rumble. Not sure what he's thinking, but he did flash. does have about 1,300 gold, so he can pick up that Spirit Visage. He can also pick up Boots as well. Maybe he'll decide to do that. Merc Treads would be probably the ideal choice for Boots here. He doesn't decide to wait till 30 minutes to get tier 2 Boots, as the Merc Treads will be really, really good against the Rumble, assuming he does end up getting Rylized at some point. And even if he doesn't, Harkin says Rumble does have a lot of slows, and Merc Treads does provide tenacity against that.
Yeah, with Rumble completing his first full item before Water Polo, it's not going to be exactly great. He's only got like 3 incomplete items. He does have 2 halves of that Spirit Visage built, but a full item is always better than half an item.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that. I was just thinking, we were talking about possibly the War Models being built. It's also half the items are, mid lane actually.
Homie Carrot does have to flash to try and get away. But Uzi Rex is following right behind, and Sherlock just jumps straight on him. Out of Uzi Rex, and Zach is trying to run away. He does get away.
Nice enchant.
Oh, ancient crystal arrow out of Ocean Andrew from River does hit Harkin right on his teleport spot. Quite a problem for Ice. Toddy does have to blow his heal to escape. Looks like the waterfall tanking that turret and letting his team get the kills. He does get the kill onto Zach.
In the end, I believe it was wow.
Another shot blast.
And the shock blast. That's gonna be tier 2 mid lane turret for Team QB. Really turning this around. Gotta say, really nice arrow. I see Chad people are talking about really nice arrow from Ocean's Andrew. I mean, that he was bottom lane when he sent that enchanted crystal arrow and it hit the target. Ended up actually getting them the kill, so really good play there. And while we were talking, while we were talking about what we thought the Shen was gonna be built, I know I kind of changed subjects there. It's gonna be a redemption build.
I'm not so sure about the redemption, but I can see it. I guess I feel like redemption would have been better off.
Now here's where I'm gonna disagree. So with Shen, he runs off of energy, and so you very rarely ever see a Shen build the Iceborne Gauntlet or Frozen Heart. Triforce you've seen built sometimes. It's very rare. The thing is, because he doesn't get anything out of that extra mana. Same thing goes for the redemption. He's not going to get anything out of that mana regen, and so it's basically you're wasting gold on nothing. So I'm going to disagree with the build here for redemption. He's going to get health, yes. He's going to get health regen, sure. But in the end, he's wasting a lot of gold on the mana regen part of the redemption, and so I think it was not a good buy.
I think the idea he was going for is the shield power being boosted, but yeah, like you said, it's not exactly the best choice for Shen.
Yeah, I don't also think that, because you do get 10% heal shielding, which I mean is nice and all, but I believe that's not gonna really be enough to make his shield on his passive any better. I guess he also has a shield on Stand United, but I don't think. Probably no, we might see some kind of fighting here. Harkin said hiding in the bush.
Oh god.
Okay.
Water Polo and Harkin getting into an extended trade with the redemption coming in handy. Healing Water Polo up. Harkin does have to flash out. Dr. Blue coming in to support Water Polo, but Toddy is hiding in that river bush, and he did already blow the bullet range. Or I'm sorry. Bullet time. But unfortunately, Harkin does die.
Yeah, I'm a little sad that Taunty didn't use the bullet time. He had it up. I think they could have gotten possibly a double kill if they would have got the positioning right on that misfortune. So a little unfortunate that actually they never used the bullet time. But retentions from both of those actually made that fight really interesting. And I know we were talking before the fight had breaking out about how we didn't really necessarily agree with the redemption choice. Well, I still don't think it's a good item. That being said, though, they are actually kind of making it work.
Meanwhile,
from
meanwhile, Sherlock, Rex, and Ocean Danger trying to take that tier 2 bot tower since the only one there to defend it is going to be Zac. But Water Polo kind of getting caught by the hook Thresh. Thresh just dropped his to try and slow down that. But Dr. Flu being there to shield. Thought he dropped it down the little time. Almost still funny. Not enough damage just yet.
Overall, it looks like they don't decide actually to stick to that top tower. I think they could have gotten a little bit of damage off of it, but at the same time, they didn't have good vision on where the rest of Team QB was at, so they do end up deciding to back off. I think it's a fair call. You don't know where the enemy team is. You gotta assume that they're in the bush right next to you, so they do play it right. Not gonna say anything about that.
Yeah, and actually, as you saw, getting that Sherlock coming up
yeah.
the river. So if they had stayed, I feel like Sherlock would have been able to just show up and ruin their party.
Yeah. And now, Ascension Reaver is completed for Ocean's Andrew's Ashe, so he will have that arrow up a lot quicker. He will get that 30% CDR. His arrow is now going to be up every 90 seconds. He's also a level 10. When he goes up to level 11, that arrow will go on shorter cooldown. So it will be nice to have a little bit more engaged, though they do have a lot. Not only can they get picks with the Jace, but they can also, have the Hecarim stampede in with his ultimate Onslaught of the Shadows. You can also just use the Enchanted Crystal Arrow to get in there as well. Mid lane now.
Quite tanky. Rex does use his ult to try and dissuade Ice Cold Juice from engaging. Try to push the ult up. Ooh, Hottie getting caught by that.
Oh, that was so much
brunt of it.
Nice hook on the 97 Water Polo. Looks like they're just gonna be dancing around though. Ashe is top lane now, so they should be wary of that and possibly look to fight either a 3v5 if Rex decides to come mid lane, or a 4v5. Don't believe they have vision on Ocean's Andrew backing, so they won't know it. But they are dropping a little bit low though, so their thoughts of even trying to go for a 4v5 not gonna happen just because of how low they are. Now they're getting pushed actually under their mid tower under inhib.
Yeah, Hottie is just getting caught by those long range shotguns.
Nice shot plays.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow is heal out of Hottie to speed up the give him a little bit of help. Water Polo is going to get a little bit. And they turned that fight around pretty handily. Unfortunately, Ocean Andrew was not in the right spot to focus team, and they end up dying or losing two.
Yeah, and so I think that's a really good call from Ice Cold Juice to go for that fight because they saw Ocean Andrew's Ashe was bottom, and not really any reason for Ashe to be bottom, especially 23 minutes into the game. The wave was set to push back in favor of Team QB, so it's not like she needed to like push it out or anything. It didn't clear any jungle mobs. I really don't know what Ocean's Andrew was doing bottom lane, but in the end it actually ended up costing them a fight because we see TSM Sherlock and Dr. Flu end up falling. Or not TSM Sherlock, sorry. I believe it was OZRX. Dr. Flu ended up falling, sorry. So I want to see a little bit better of Ocean Andrews kind of staying with the team, let the Shen or the Jace split push, not really the Ashe, because if it's going to do a nice hook actually.
TSM Sherlock just poking down, but unfortunately Dr. Flu getting caught out of position and taking a bit of damage. have to back off. But unfortunately, TSM Sherlock is quite ahead. 5 kills, no deaths, 3 assists. Just 2 items completed with the Hex Drinker and the Maw on the way. Just poking out their team, and that Jace hurts. To say the least.
I do see some chat talking on Twitch. Apparently, Ocean's Andrew is the top jungle main, so it's a. I won't BM anymore. If he was a top jungle main, he'd be doing pretty good what he's doing there. So I'm not gonna do it. Meanwhile, though, he actually does end up getting a nice enchanted crystal air. Fortunately, he doesn't have the team to follow up. Like, they're just gonna kind of run it down mid now. 97 Water Polo does have the Stand United on Shen, so he can ult if he needs to get down there, and it looks like they will get the top wave.
Yeah, it looks like top tower is gonna go down, possibly. But Water Polo is waiting in that bush. But Harkin just shows up, and I think that's gonna be out. Second out.
Yeah, unfortunately, Icicle Juice doesn't have any vision on it, so we don't really know what's happening. 97 Water Polo actually didn't get that top tower because he decided to attack the minions coming in. If he would have attacked the tower, it would have gone down. Kind of hard to say whether that was the right call or not. Ideally, you know, you want the tower to hit as many minions as possible, so you'll lose. Sorry, I was reading Twitter. But ideally, you know, you want the tower to lose as much CS as possible, so the enemy doesn't get it. But at the same time, you also want the tower to go down. So just unfortunate. However, top lane and shit, just
crystal arrow out of Ocean Andrew, and unfortunately, you just can't get away. Drop the equalizer, try and do something, but unfortunately, the damage out of Jace is quite under.
So we'll get that top tower, and now a little confused as to why Thresh is bottom Orion is mid. If I was Team QB, I'd probably try to go for Baron. Then again, though, they don't have the vision, they don't know where Vi is, so they can't really say it's a good call or not. Perfectly fine, you know, they're playing it safe. I think that's a good idea. You know, they're ahead, they don't want to blow their lead. And I think for right now, if you're Team QB, all you want to do is just keep on trying to shove objectives. Obviously, I think the next best one would be to send Shen bottom with either TP or Stand United, and then send 4 of them top lane to get that top tier 2 turret. If they end up sending a bunch of people for Shen, you pull off and go to Baron. If they end up fighting top lane over Baron or over the tower, you just have Shen come and either Stand United or TP. So
looks like I don't think Icicle Juice has much awareness. They just saw Hadi going. Unfortunately, they don't spot out the Baron play in time. Hadi has to burn his flash and heal to escape from that, and Baron does go to Team QB at about 28 minutes.
That's going to be around a 7.5 gold lead. 7,500 gold lead, sorry. I also do want to apologize to the people watching. I had gotten it wrong. Ocean's Andrew isn't top jungle main, it's Taunty. I misread which AD carry it was, so not bad. But
it happens.
Yeah, and
oh
yeah,
man, Zach just did not see Sherlock with the acceleration. I'm pretty sure if you check the damage charts after this game, you're gonna see TSM Sherlock just putting out all that.
Yeah.
I have no doubt about that. He's been landing pretty much all of his shot blasts. I'm pretty sure he's hit at least almost all of them.
Again though, with this happened last game, kind of want to see it happen soon. I know a couple of players are watching the stream, so hopefully they can hear me. I really want to see these people getting boots a little bit earlier. 30 minutes is really late to get tier 2 boots. However, nice hook on the Dark Blue. I actually want to see a fight come down.
Change of pistol arrows, shock blasts.
And honestly, they have the Baron buff. They just got a great fight, great initiation by the Shen and the Hecarim. Looks like this will be the game.
Yeah, they're gonna tank it out. Baron Robo. We still got another 10 seconds before the Ice Cold Juice spawns, so it's game 2 goes to.
Great play from them. Unfortunately, Ice Cold couldn't find the win, but they did improve over that first game, so props to them. However, Team QB will in the end find the win. They do end up going 2-0 over Ice Cold Juice. You got anyone you want to nominate for MVP?
That one, TSM Sherlock. I think there's no question there. I mean, look at the damage charts, and you'll see over 29,000. The next closest has to be on Rumble with 15,000.
But if you look at even the team's damage charts, so TSM Sherlock on that Jace did 29,000 damage, right?
Right.
You know, that's cool and all. Maybe the other team had or maybe the rest of the people on that team had high damage as well. The support Karma did the next highest damage on the team at 8,000. Karma does a lot of damage as a support, and Ash should have done some more damage, but it's not really a big deal. Ash wasn't really the carry of that game, so you can't fault for not doing that much damage. But this is a highlight of how good TSM Sherlock played that Jace. We said if he was dominant, he would take over the game, and that's exactly what he did. So props to him. I think he totally deserves the MVP. Snowballed mid lane, he got first blood solo, and from there he kind of just snowballed other lanes as well.
Yeah, I mean, Ocean's Andrew did pretty well as well. Even though he didn't really get any kills or do so much damage, he provided great utility with his ults. Enchanted Crystal Arrow landed quite a significant amount of times, and that kind of helped his team stay alive. They only died twice, and that was during that one fight. Pretty much everyone else stayed alive and didn't die at all. Dr. Flu and Uzi Rex, the only 2 deaths on their team. Meanwhile, no one could do anything on Ice Cold Juice except Call Me Carrot. I think Call Me Carrot tried to do more, but unfortunately, I don't think he could do enough to help his team come back from that. Overall, though, I think they did play better early game. They didn't give up as much in terms of gold and objectives early on. I think they played their early game a lot better than their first game. So I have to give them that. Anything else you want to add for Ice Cold Juice?
I unfortunately, while they did lose, I think they did play better. They played really well early game. That second, we saw Zach steal the buff. We saw good pressure coming out early. Mid game was a little weak, so I think if they can just touch up on that, they can look like a top tier team. I believe they're pretty high up in the standings, so obviously they do have an idea of what to do in games. Maybe it was just a little unlucky this time around, but I think they are showing they have a strong performance. And when they did lose, I think they, if they maybe come around next week and they played the same team, they even could have won. The only advice I'm going to give, and I try not to give advice as a caster, is just buy boots a little bit earlier. Other than that, though, I think both teams played well. It's going to be fun, though, to see where these teams go, and I wish good luck to both of them.
Yep. I'm Kane Wolf, here alongside L358, and this has been Ice Cold Juice versus Team QB, 2-0 for Team QB. And we'll be back with another game. The next series, I believe, will be coming up next. And we'll see you next week.
Yep. Thanks for watching, guys.
Have a good one.